What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. We had like a Moscona House miracle today. Hi, bud. Hi. What? Music show. Okay. Okay. And go to Walgreens. We did go to Walgreens last night. Very good, Drew. Drew slept until like 7:11 this morning. That is a world record. Mike Sylvester, Joshua Carr, Brian Wynn, Kirk Taylor, Thomas Chapman, Robert Gremion, Craig Schilling, Tyler Hales, Mike Gravois, Charlie Bell, Irfan Sayad. What's up, everybody? Hey, Dawn, good morning. Malcolm Ogeron, good morning. Bob Kubrick, Kelly Presley. What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing really well. Brian's at Orange Beach today. Everybody's out and about, huh? Y'all getting your vacations in. Good on you, man. Enjoy it. Shout out to Brock, Fatner's Orthopedic Clinic, for sponsoring the show. So Cam Jordan gets paid yesterday. Really, music show. Okay, let's go see music show. Really good AFR yesterday, if y'all missed it. Yeah, man, yesterday's AFR was really good if y'all missed it. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Classical baby. Music show. There you go, bud. Music show. All right. We are set up. All right, music show. I'm going to hit the share button. Hopefully y'all will do the same. So I have to go to the dentist today. So we're done at 8 o'clock. So on my watch, but I think it's 7:04. It's got about 20 minutes here. We could chat this morning. Really good AFR yesterday if you missed it. Chris Reed was awesome. Had never had Chris on the show. He said afterwards that was his first radio interview ever. But just really candid, really good storyteller. Went through in a lot of detail his getting cut from the team, which, by the way, he was cut from the team on his birthday. And in leaving the box, he and his girlfriend were going, Drew, come. Yay! Music show. All right, bud. And leaving the box with his girlfriend, he was driving her car, and they got hit head on and totaled her car. I mean, you want to talk about an awful day. But he went through all of it. The call to come back, in meeting with Maneri about that, or talking to Maneri about that, the standing ovations he got, just what the season was like. Really interesting story, man. We'll have him back on the show for sure. So it was fun talking to Chris Reed yesterday, if you missed that. Tristan Blewett, the NOLA Gold rugby player, who's working out for the Saints now. Eye-opening, man, when you think about it. A guy who has no knowledge of the game of football at all and is out there trying out for the Saints. It's for an NFL team. It's crazy. So some really good stuff yesterday. Ron Swoboda, World Series champ. I had a really good show yesterday. I enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Let's see, Matthew Hyde. Hey, Nan, good morning. Craig Dugas, good morning. Cheryl Michelet, good morning. Matt and Drew, listened to the Chris Reed interview this morning. Loved it. What a great story. I wish it would have ended in Omaha. That's true. But LSU baseball did get good news yesterday. Cole Henry apparently not serious. He had some scar tissue that was compressing a nerve, so they did some dry needling on it. Started triggering right away. So that's the great news. Yeah, he said he went out and threw perfectly, threw fine. But when the nerve was being compressed, he couldn't lift his arm, and he was having some numbness. I mean, crazy. But the good news is, like, whenever something like that happens, yeah, a guy leaves after the second inning and his arm's numb and whatever, like, you fear the worst, right? I mean, you fear that he blew out and has to have Tommy John. Like, I'll say it now, but, like, that's the fear. And it's not that, so that's the really good news. So, when you look at Hill and Marceau and Henry, there's nothing structurally wrong with any of their arms. So now it's, man, build them dudes up this offseason and get them ready to go next year. Curtis Blanchard, what's up, Dad? Good morning. Mimi and Ward. Mabel, good morning. Let's see, Mike, we knew he had to get paid. Would have been a bad loss if they let him walk. Oh, you're talking about Cam Jordan. Yeah, so Cam Jordan, but the thing about it, though, Mike, is so Cam Jordan was still under contract for 2 more years. So they didn't have to pay him now. Like, they could have let him play the next 2 years and then hit unrestricted free agency. And then you take your shot, right? It's like if he wants to stay, maybe he resigns with you. The risk is he's 29, Cam Jordan. So if he has 2 more seasons. Hi. Music show on Mommy's phone. So if he has 2 more years like he's had recently, well, that price tag for him goes way up. Even though he'd be 31, you're still talking about $20 million a year. So he got a 3-year extension at a 3-year, $52 million extension. So about $18 million a year, and worth it, So he'll be in New Orleans through 2023 now. You won't have to go outbid other teams. Now, the next guy they got to pay is Michael Thomas, because Thomas will be an unrestricted free agent after the season, and there is no way you get into a bidding war with 31 other teams for an all-pro wide receiver. So I guess you have to decide, are you going to pay an all-pro wide receiver? And I know we've done this before on the show where it's like, I've looked at the contracts, like the $100 million contracts or the biggest contracts ever for wide receivers, and none of them have won a Super Bowl. It's generally, as a general practice, not a good idea to invest big money into a receiver. That's not me guessing. Like, that's fact. You look at Calvin Johnson with the Lions, or Julio with the Falcons, or Larry Fitzgerald with the Cardinals. I mean, those guys doing Super Bowls. Larry Fitzgerald went to one. Julio went to one. Anyway, so you got to decide, you're going to pay that money to a receiver. But it all gets so much easier. The decisions on all these contracts get so much easier if and when Drew Brees retires, because it takes this $20 million a year contract off for your quarterback off your ledger. Sam Dixon, good morning. Kirk, the Reed interview was classic. As like classical baby classic. That's nice. Poetry show. Oh, you want poetry show? Okay. Let's see. AJ Holland, Dr. Farashi said, thanks for the shout out. Great org over there. There you go. Shout out to Brock. Thanks for going over there, AJ. You want poetry? There you go. It's poetry. Yeah, man. Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. AJ went yesterday. Yeah, man. I mentioned yesterday I saw Faraci a few years ago I was actually working out and just had it was weird, man. I was doing crunches and something in my neck just triggered, and I've had neck issues ever since. But man, it was like debilitating. I couldn't move. I was on some pretty serious meds for a while, and then in a neck brace just to stabilize things. So anyway, earphone sounds like the microphone is plugged in today. It is. Got it right here, and it is plugged into the phone. So baby steps. Poetry show on Mommy's phone. Why don't you watch on the TV in there for right now? Okay. Brian Wynn, Matt, don't know whether you discussed this previously, but do you anticipate any staff changes for baseball next year? The limit on number of coaches hurts. So Dance show. Yay, dance show. Woo. Oh, you want dance show now? Look, well, you had music, and then you asked for poetry. Now you're asking for dance. You got to make up your mind, okay? You want dance?
Dance.
Okay, this is the last time you're gonna watch dance. I'm not gonna keep changing the show every 30 seconds. All right, bud. Now you can sit there and watch the whole thing this time. There you go. He'll be back in 2 seconds. Tell him to change it to something else. He'll be going, where are fashion? So Brian, as far as staff changes, you got a delicate balance here. So number one, you have to have a recruiter. You have to. And Nolan Cain is awesome in that role. You can talk about, from a technical standpoint on the field, what does Nolan bring? Like Alan Dunn's your pitching coach. Nolan is not your hitting coach. Nolan's your recruiting coordinator. And I think you have conversations around the game. A lot of people here, I don't think, understand how respected Nolan is in that role, like universally. So you got a tough balancing act here because Nolan is an awesome recruiter, and you've got to have someone who's constantly on the phone and going to showcases and going to scout kids and spending all those hours on planes and flights and going to ball fields and watching kids play and recruit. Like, that's not an easy job. So you got to have that guy. Now, when Andy Canizero was that guy and he was also your hitting coach, great. You got to have a full-time pitching coach. You just have to. So if it's Allen or someone else, you make that decision. So I don't think you can just replace one of those guys and solve your issues. If you want to replace Alan Dunn with a pitching coach who also recruits, okay, I don't know who that guy is. If you want to replace Sean Ochinko, well, Sean's a volunteer assistant. So can you get a top-tier hitting coach that's willing to work for free? And I don't think the answer to that is something you're going to want to hear. So it's that, in essence, you'd have to either replace Allen with a pitching coach who can recruit or replace Nolan with a hitting coach that can recruit. What? Flowers. Yep, very good, bud. Hey, babe. You want to say hi to Morning Scone?
Hi.
Erika says hi. Do you want to do 2 minutes of Ask Erika? Okay. Well, we'll see you later then. We got a lot to do.
We have a lot to do this morning.
We got a lot to do this morning.
We do.
Okay. Well, we'll see you later.
I need help from you.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess the point is, I don't think the answer to the question of staff changes is that cut and dry. It's not. So anyway, Dana Abear, Michael Costello, good morning. Jordan Grace, good morning. Hey, Aunt Mary, good morning. Jerry Spurgeon, good morning. Blaine Smith, morning. Matt and Drew, can't wait until football season. Any news about where AD goes? Well, the Kevin Durant injury certainly is a big part of it now because Durant, who was going to be a max contract free agent guy, is going to be a max contract free agent guy, might have gone and signed in New York or, gone with the Knicks, which essentially would have taken the Knicks out of a trade for Anthony Davis. Well, now, considering Durant has torn Achilles and he's going to miss next year, he could opt back in with Golden State at $31.5 million. So he could basically collect $31.5 million just sitting there next year. And it's also unlikely that any team is going to spend max contract money on Durant because they don't know how he's going to respond coming off a torn Achilles. And because they wouldn't have him for all of next year. So I think that eliminated the biggest free agent in the pond this year and gives the Pels even more leverage. It's miserable that it happened at Durant. I feel terrible for him. But specifically, just strictly talking from a Pels leverage perspective, that's really, really big. But it's very likely going to be and they alluded to this earlier this week, it's likely going to be a multi-team deal because one team doesn't have enough assets to be appealing enough to the Pelicans for what they want. They want an all-star, a future all-star, and 2 first-round picks. I love you. And go to JJ's house. Let's see. Sam Dixon Reed was a great team guy. I wish the young man all the best in life. If it is his chosen path, he will make a great coach. Well said. Casey Smith, good morning. Caleb Clark, Chad Dupuy, Bobby Sievers, good morning. Joe Ed Kettner, good morning. Troy Shatner, good morning. Gary Burkett, what's up? A Jeff Brenner, good morning. Alden Cartwright, Alexander Diaz, David Brewerton. What's up, Brew? Good morning, man. Little C. Andrew Bayer, Alec Campbell, Yancey Benoit. Let's see. Kirk, how was that AC? Still can't believe no one passed out during the summer in the studio. So yesterday on my Instagram story, I posted a picture. There's a sign on our studio door that they're going to be installing an air condition for the studio. So we have a video studio, and they're doing it today, by the way, Kirk, at 9:30. It's a small studio, but it has all the guts of the radio station in there and the TV station. So small room. You've got 3, 4, or 5 people in the room at once. So body temperature, and then you've got all of the equipment, the racks. So all the black boxes and all like the guts of the station that make it go, all in this little room. And all that stuff gets very, very hot. And there's just like a little vent on the back side of the wall to sort of vent some of that heat out of there. But it gets so hot in that studio. So they're installing an air conditioning unit today for that room. So I'm pretty pumped about it, man. Now here's the odd thing. Rivers said that it gets freezing in the morning. I have no idea how that's possible. None. But she said like she freezes in there in the morning. It's like an ice box. So that's interesting to me. Anyway, Alec Campbell, good morning. Yancey Benoit, what up? Terry Shipman, good morning. Love the Reed interview. Great take on how home runs affect the mental part of the swing. It's so true. So I was asking about he hit his only home run of his career this year. He had an inside the park homer, but his only homer that went over the fence. Also said his grandma gave him $100 for every home run, but she gave him more for this. He wouldn't disclose the amount, but he said, yeah, it's like, it would affect his swings. Like that's what I had to do to hit homers. It's true. I mean, that happens to guys. I think it happened to Antoine this year a little bit. Part 2. Okay, I'll show you part 2. It definitely happened to Kramer. And I mean, Kramer acknowledged it as much. Kramer said when he played, that when he was when he started getting a little power surge, he was trying to elevate the ball. And that's a really good way to fly out over and over and over again. So it's interesting. Brian Arsenault, Douglas Duhan, Chris Flanagan, what's up? Chris, I need to call you, man. I'll call you when we're done here. Michael Castello. Brock did excellent work on my knee 2 years ago. About 8 years ago, my left hand. Ooh, after the door was slammed on my hand, had multiple breaks to my ring and middle fingers. Oh, God. That sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. But thanks for the shout-out and the testimonial. They really are awesome, man. Like I mentioned, I never endorse businesses that I don't use or products that I don't use or places I haven't been or things like that. Brock's been good to me, man. Really, really good to me over the years. I had an Achilles injury. Thank God I didn't rupture it. Oh, my gosh, strained it badly. I was in a walking boot for a few weeks. Mentioned my neck injury. They've taken care of me over the years with some things. Back. Oh God, I went to Chip Bankston a couple of years ago. I have just chronic back issues, and every now and again, something will trigger it. I'll throw it out. Went to Chip there a few years ago for my back. Anyway, they're awesome. Go see the docs at Brock if you end up in pain. Chris Williams, now that baseball is over, let's talk football. Do you think we see a new and improved LSU offense, or will we see the same old offense we've seen in the last 10 years? Just 80 days to figure that out. No, look, I think it'll definitely be different. I don't know how it could be anything but different. You will hear me say this a lot over the next 80 days. I have no doubt that with Joe Brady coming in, they will try different things, that it will look different. I think personnel's different as well. Part one. Okay, bud. Okay, bud. I also think part one. Okay. I also think it's undeniable that at some point you will face adversity in the season. And my question is, when that happens, does Ogeron stick with the spread concepts and all that stuff, or does he revert to what he knows, which is, hey man, put a fullback in there and let's go play power football. And that's basically what happened with Matt Canada a couple of years ago. They were scuffling a little bit offensively, and he basically put the clamps on him. Now, he and Matt did not get along. And it's funny to me how so many people thought that was a fabricated storyline by the media. No. It was. If anybody ever writes the book on that one, y'all will be stunned with some of the stories. But anyway. So yeah, I think it'll look. I think when they go play Georgia Southern or Georgia State first week, I think it'll look different. Georgia Southern, and then if they go to Austin and scuffle a little bit, I'm curious what he does. Let's see, Mike Gravlaw, Nolan needs to recruit left-handed pitchers. They did recruit left-handed pitchers, but all right, that's a good point. I'll talk about it in a second. See what? So, first of all, they did have a left-handed pitcher on staff this year with Easton McMurray, and Daniel Cabrera also is a guy who was recruited as a left-handed pitcher. Now, they had Blair Frederick and Brandon Nowak, a couple of lefties that were just left-handed arms. Now, let me ask you a question. So we saw this yesterday. Will Rapole and Brock Mathis both announced their transfer. Essentially, they were cut. You need the roster spots. It happens every year. Would you rather, so now you were not expecting Duplantis, Watson, Hess to come back, and you really weren't counting on Marceau or Henry or Hill to show up. Now you're glad they all did. That's 6 roster spots that you had to free up to get these guys to campus. Now let me ask you a question. Would you have rather had a lefty like Brandon Nowak, just have a left-handed arm, who wasn't very good, but it was a left-handed arm, and Blair Frederick? Would you rather have those two guys or Duplantis and Watson?
Part two.
Part two, yay! Would you rather have had Blair Frederick and Brandon Nowak or Cole Henry and Landon Marceau? I mean, I'm with you in that it's unconventional and really strange. The other thing that's really unconventional and strange is the fact that LSU got all those guys to come back, which never happens. Anyway, we gotta hurry here, y'all, because I gotta be done by like 8, because I gotta go get in the shower and I gotta be at the dentist for 9. Brett McCullough, Jason Truax, Damari Harding. What's up, Damari? Carl the Cat. Good morning. Elmo.
Where's Twinkle?
Twinkle. Very good. Okay. Hi. Twink. Hey, listen. After Dad Show, then you can watch Twinkle, okay? Okay?
And
gone to Mimi's house. You're going to go to Abilities today with Mommy, okay? Okay? Okay. Okay! AJ, hell to pay when the wife comes back and watches it. Dang, internet dab. Hey, Erika. Erika. She's in the laundry room. She's starting to wash her. She can't hear me. Chuck Bizette, good morning. Justin and Sarah Johnston, good morning. Let's see. Julio Mendez, good morning. Brandon DeVille, do you think AD is moved by the weekend? Woj said good possibilities move sooner than later. Talked yesterday with Scott Kushner, the advocate, and asked him that question. He said, look, it's one of two things. It's either it's moved this weekend or they wait until the next cycle, which would be that next free agent period post-draft. So it's either really soon or they wait until that next cycle post-draft to see how everything settles. I would not be surprised if they get it done. I think there's a lot of, before this weekend, I think there's a lot of motivated buyers, and I would not be surprised at all if that happened. Brian Ashcraft, all right, we're about to bounce. I got to go get in the shower. Again, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They're tagged in this post. Please like their page. We'll go tell Drew bye in a second. Tyler Hales, World's Strongest Man this weekend. I may be the only one to be excited for. There you go, bro. Ask E-Rock if she would have pitched to Mendoza. Oh, it's funny. Is River City's 1 hour air doing the job? No, we have an in-house about the AC in the studio. We have an in-house our in-house maintenance people. It's not installing AC. I think they're putting vents like from the AC unit on the third floor that goes into the studio. They're giving it its own access essentially. Let's see. Hoot Palmario, what's up? By the way, Herb Tyler says, hey, big dog. Tell Herb Tyler I want to get him on my show, Yancey, if you would. That'd be cool. I'd love to talk to Herb Tyler on AFR. Kirk Taylor, can Gilbert get a medical red shirt, or is he done? He's done. And as we talked about, man, Caleb unfortunately ended up getting the case of the yips, man. Just forgot how to throw the baseball. I think he's done, man.
Robert.
Hunt Palmer, do you think a player swings right-handed and putts left? Robert and putts left-handed will win the U.S. Open this week. I did not enter Hunt, but I am going to play golf on Saturday, so I'll put my score though up against anybody in the U.S. Open with my handicap. Ronnie Dugas, Carrie Puston, good morning.
Go.
What?
Did I go from mommy? Go from mommy.
Mommy, you will go to Fresh. Did you go Fresh Market yesterday with Mommy?
Sarah and
Who did you see?
Sarah and Ann.
Sarah and Anna. You going to see Anna and Sarah today? Okay. All right, y'all. We're at the end of the comments. That works out great. Let me see if I can go get E-Rock to answer the two questions that y'all asked. Hang on. Hey, babe. Real quick. You're not on camera. You're not on camera. It's facing me. It's facing my face. Huh? No, it's facing my face. Two things. One, they asked E-Rock, should Maneri have pitched to Mendoza?
I have no idea what that means.
That's the guy who got the game-winning hit for Florida State. They could have walked him or pitched to him.
How do you not pitch to somebody?
Well, because you got first base open, so you put him on first base to get a force play to any base. It's a strategy.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose anyway. So.
Oh, she thought we were going to lose anyway.
After abilities, you can watch Mommy's Photo, okay? After Sarah and Anna.
And then Gary says, ask Erika if instead of LSU wearing purple jerseys, should they wear black jerseys with purple trim?
I do like that look a lot.
What, the purple?
The black.
They've never worn black.
I like the look of that, though. I've seen it. They've had, there's somebody make something that looks like that. I like that black with that dark purple. I do like that a lot.
LSU's colors aren't black, E-Rock.
I like the black look. I don't like gold. Gold's like Big Bird. I don't like the gold look. I like the white. I like black with purple. You could do black with purple. And
You're talking about you don't like a gold jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, but the gold helmet and the gold pants with the white jerseys are good.
Oh, are we talking football?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still like black.
Oh, you don't like the gold jerseys in baseball?
I don't like gold. They look like Big Bird.
Gold jerseys in baseball are fly. And the gold uniforms in basketball are fly, too.
No.
Yes, that's awesome. I disagree. You're wrong. I just flatly disagree. You want to talk uniforms? I know uniforms. I'll disagree with you. I do know.
Who
No,
dresses you?
me. I dress myself. And I know Hey,
somehow, some way, for 29 years before I met you, somehow I managed. Well, how old was I? 27. For 27 years, I managed to dress myself.
But did you find a wife then? No.
Yeah,
No, you
found
didn't.
you.
No, I had to dress you before you found me.
I wasn't naked. I wasn't not getting dressed when we met.
You weren't dressing good.
I was dressing good.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was. Cookie Monster right there. Elmo. Cookie Monster and Elmo. All right. Another edition of As the World Turns. All right.
I
See,
like black. I do like the black. Okay.
you can't wear black as a primary color because it's not in LSU's color scheme.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Oregon wears that highlighter
It's-
stuff. That's not their color.
It's a rule. It's a rule. Hey, Drew. I need to have Drew tell everybody bye.
Okay, go tell Dad show bye. Can you go say bye to Dad's show?
Hey, Drew, come see. Come see Dad's show. Say bye. Mama did take you to Home Depot. Now, can you say bye, Dad's show? Say bye, Dad's show. Okay, here you go. Here you go. All right, we'll see y'all later.